What the hell was that ending? What was that? What is going on, everybody? It's the Front, and this is your Extreme Rules 2021 review. Or should we say, one match had Extreme Rules while everything else was just a normal match. And the Extreme Rules match was actually a really good match up until whatever the hell that last few minutes was. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it as I think about it. The Demon. Now, I know one of the biggest complaints people have had about the Demon is that Balor doesn't seem any different from being the Demon. He's just from being regular Balor to Demon Balor. He just puts on paint, has someone paint him up, does a little, has a mean look on his face, but he wrestles about the same. Well, tonight, they decided they were going to add theatrics. Because that's what the Demon needed. He needed him needing to be on his back, start convulsing a couple times, get up, have his music play while he's beating up Roman Reigns with a chair, kicking him through a table, and then going up for the coup de grace with a smoke machine, which was spoiled earlier in the match because for whatever reason, smoke started coming out from the stairs because I think Balor or Roman hit the stairs and it activated the smoke machine, but you started seeing smoke. And I'm sitting there watching this, I'm like, why is there smoke coming out of there? Well, it turns out it was for the theatrical spot of the night with that. It's funny because Alexa Bliss has been doing this whole demonic possessed woman for months. Almost for about a year. She's been possessed by Wyatt and then stole his gimmick. And she had a match tonight, and there was less theatrics in that match compared to the shit that we saw at the end of this match. But how does the match end? Well, I'm sitting here. I will give them credit because I'm seriously watching this. Balor is beating the shit with doing this whole theatric spot. He's beating up Roman Reigns so badly. I'm sitting here going, they're not going to have Balor win this, right? They're not going to have Balor go out there and just kill the entire 390-day reign of Roman Reigns, are they? And then all of a sudden, he's up for the coup de grace, smoke everywhere, red lighting, his music's playing, the rope breaks. No joke. The top rope breaks, Balor falls to the ground, clutching his knee, and I'm thinking to myself, this could have ended very, very badly. Because he just falls straight down. What if he falls down and hits his head? What if he falls down and breaks his neck? Who thought that was a good fucking spot to end this match? He gets up, turns around, eats not his first but his second spear, which of course the Demon Balor should have kicked out of the first spear in the match because he's the Demon, it's not regular Finn Balor. And turnabout was fair play, as when he kicked out of the spear, he gave Roman the good old low blow, like Roman has been giving to many, many talents that he has wrestled over the last few months. So it just reeks of stupidity. Who came up with this? I don't know who thought that was a good idea. It looked bad. It looks stupid. It's like, we all hated the red lighting when The Fiend was wrestling with red lighting. We all hated it when they did the fucked up lighting with Sin Cara back when he was that day. Why did they have to, all of a sudden, have red lighting come down, his music play, a smoke machine be activated, and just pretty much made the Demon just look stupid. And it's not like Balor's, it's not that the side that he was standing on broke. It was the opposite corner. So I don't understand how the ring just broke on him. I don't understand this. And it was a good match up until that spot. Up until that spot, these two beat the living hell out of each other. There was even a time when they went to the crowd. Well, Balor got thrown into the crowd. Roman thinks about it for a second, puts his hand out, and gives him a mask. He puts the mask on, which was referenced on commentary where Pat McAfee's like, and Roman has to get a mask on because he doesn't want to breathe the same breath as the scum of the scum out there, which I thought was fucking hilarious. The fact that they had Roman Reigns, which only makes sense because he is an asshole. Why else would he want to? Here's the thing: if the masks actually did something like that, I would sit there and do the same exact thing as Finn Balor, as Roman Reigns. And I'm from Ohio, so I understand. Yeah, I would definitely do doing the same thing if I was Roman Reigns, going out there and having to be around those guys. But it just doesn't make any sense why you would do this. Why have this terrible, shitty ass? What was wrong with the Demon? What's wrong with the Demon the way he is? I just don't understand who thought this was a good idea. Roman Reigns, Finn Balor. We all knew it was going to happen this way. We all knew Roman was winning. I honestly think Vince McMahon was like, oh, well, this is going to be a way to protect the Demon because the Demon has to lose, which they touted that the Demon has been undefeated in WWE. Of course, they're not going to mention how he lost to Samoa Joe, I believe, inside a steel cage match as the Demon in NXT, but we have to forget NXT pre 2.0 because NXT pre 2.0 isn't relevant anymore. So, yeah, that was the main event. Now, as we started on the kickoff, we had Liv Morgan and Carmela. This was on the kickoff where it belonged. But I will say this. Columbus loved themselves some Liv Morgan. And it got me to thinking. As you found out later in the show, and it was really obvious, that the Becky heel turn is still one of the dumbest things they've done in the last 10 years. At least. Because the fans do not want to boo Becky. And if you listen to that match, it was 60-40 on dueling chants, Becky Lynch. Maybe it went up to 70-30. Anyway. And I got to thinking, it's like, people really, really love Liv Morgan. I know that Bianca Belair is a babyface. She sucks as a babyface. I much prefer her as a heel. But since she's married to Montez Ford, and then I don't see Montez Ford turning heel anytime soon, and they want to still associate him with his wife, there's no way she's going to turn heel anytime soon. But it got me to thinking, it's like, if they really, really want to try and get this Becky Lynch thing over, and really try and get Becky Lynch to be a heel, have Liv Morgan be next in line. Have Liv Morgan be the one to challenge Becky next in a title program, and have Becky bully Liv Morgan. Bully her, beat her up, make her feel like shit, but have Liv Morgan stand up to Becky and be like, I'm not going to let you keep me down, whatever else you want to say, whatever else she needs to say, and really have people choose Becky Lynch or a huge fan favorite, Liv Morgan. Another thing, it's like, Bianca Belair, yeah, she is a over babyface. In my opinion, it's like the crowds are not completely behind Bianca Belair. Of course, they were going to be behind her once she won the championship because that was a big moment. Everyone knew she was going to win. It was going to be a big deal. She was going up against the perennial heel Sasha Banks. So, yeah, that was... But you could just tell in the way they booked her, even before the debacle at SummerSlam, which as we got further and further away, obviously it was a bad idea. It was a bad booking decision. But yeah, she definitely. Liv Morgan would be the best person because Bianca Belair has, I'd say, maybe 75 to 80% of the crowd behind her. There's still that 20%. They're not against her, they're just indifferent. They don't care. They don't go either way. So Liv Morgan was over in this match. Everything she did, the fans in Columbus wanted to celebrate her. They wanted if she would have been like somehow superimposed or added to the women's championship match for Smackdown later in the night and was made it a triple threat. She would have been the number one woman, and everyone would have been hoping that somehow, some way, she was going to become women's champion. That's how over she was in Columbus. If there was a secondary title in SmackDown in WWE for the women, an Intercontinental or U.S. Women's Championship, Liv Morgan would be that champion, no doubt about it, and people would fucking love her. So, yeah. But what happened at the end of the Women's Championship match for SmackDown, we'll talk about that. But before it's all said and done, if they really, really, really want to get get Becky Lynch over as a big-time heel, Liv Morgan will probably be the best chance they got because Bianca Belair ain't doing it. So this was an okay match. Everyone loves Liv. People didn't give a shit about Carmela. Carmela ends up losing this one. Liv Morgan wins. Like a huge "Let's Go Morgan" chant. I'm like, why are you saying "Let's Go Morgan"? She said, "Let's go Liv." Come on, guys. Carmela tries for a kick, blocked, and she is sent face first into the announce table. Tossed back in. She hits the flatliner off the ropes, which they still haven't given a name to. I don't know why. 1, 2, 3. She picks up the win. So beautiful thing for them, for her. Now, also on the pre-show, for some reason, the New Day were here. They're not on the show. Like, at the beginning, as of the kickoff, they weren't on the show. AJ Styles was there. Omos was there. They weren't on the show. Bobby Lashley came in and started beating up on Big E. He's not on the show either. Why are these 6 individuals here? Oh, okay, because we needed to make a 6-person tag match. Why? Because there were only 5 matches on the main card, and they needed to stretch this as much as they could to 11:30. 11, almost, I'm not 11:30, but 11 o'clock. Now, yeah. Gee, guys, how's Peacock working out for you in the States? Because apparently French and English commentary was being mixed, Spanish as well. Yeah, every single month it's something new with this fucking service. And this is going to be going on for at least 5 fucking years. How do you fuck this up so badly? Anyway. The New Day versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. I really didn't give 2 shits about this match. And Big E gets pinned. No, I'm sorry, not Big E. Big E pins Bobby Lashley in a match that nobody should give a fuck about because WWE didn't give a fuck about it enough to announce it, not make it official until the night of the show. Big E wins because Bobby Lashley got tagged out. AJ goes for the normal forearm. Lashley tags himself in. Lashley spears but hits AJ Styles. Big E hits the big ending and Lashley gets the pin. How far down he is falling. Later in the show, he issues a challenge for tomorrow night. He wants a WWE Championship match. Sound reasoning. But will it happen? Yes, it will. It'll be the opener of tomorrow night's show. Talk about being fucking desperate. WWE barely won in the 18-49 demo against AEW on Wednesday night. And, of course, they didn't do well at all. Even having Roman on the show twice did not help the ratings, as they didn't even get to 1.8 million viewers. It was still in the 1.7 area. So that's going to kick off the show, and I almost 95% guarantee These motherfuckers are going to go out there and they're going to have a match. It's going to get some fuckery for whatever reason. And then it's going to either be it's going to be redone later in the night, or we're going to get some kind of 6-man tag match with the New Day versus Bobby Lashley and 2 other people. Usos versus the Street Profits for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. This is what we call tag team wrestling at its finest. This is what WWE needs every once in a while. We need good tag team wrestling. We got it here with the Street Profits and the Usos. These 2 teams went out there and fucking killed it. Honestly, if these 2 teams are both still on SmackDown after the draft next week, honestly, I think the Usos and Street Profits could be the 2021 equivalent of the New Day versus the Usos from 2017 or 2016, whichever year it was. And those 2 teams killed it. They were the best. That was the feud of the year in, I think it was 2017. Yeah, it was 2017 because 2016 was the draft. New Day was still on Raw. They didn't come over to the Superstar Shakeup. But after that, those 2 teams killed it. The Usos were in their peak of their career. And the New Day were just at the peak of New Day as well, and it was great. Hell of a match here. I honestly thought there were times where it was going to be, they're actually going to have this is one of those, like, they gave you a chance that, they're going to win. It's going to be new tag team champions. But no, unfortunately, that didn't happen. Usos both sent to the floor, but they grabbed Dawkins and throw him into the barricade. Thor with a huge flip over the cover in the ring and takes out both guys. He throws one in the ring, frog splash, slow cover, and broken up in the last second. This is awesome chant. Dawkins takes a super kick and goes to the floor. Ford with a roll up too. Each super kicks to the rib. Usos with the double super kick to the head. Double Usos splash to Ford. 1, 2, 3, and the Usos retain the championships. Good shit there. Charlotte 9000 takes on Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. This was fine. Well, as you know, Alexa Bliss is from Ohio. She's from Columbus, so she's from home. And this got a lot of time. It was a good match. I will say that. It was a good match. Now, every time Charlotte puts the title on the line, you have to have that notion of, well, WWE probably wants to get her title off. She's going to probably lose the title very soon because they want to take the title off of her to get it right back onto her so she can be your umpteen-time women's champion by the time her career is done. If she doesn't have 17 or 18 titles by the time she's done with her career, I will be shocked. She heads to the top, twisted Bliss, nobody's home. Charlotte takes the figure eight, but Bliss rolls her up and for 2. DDT to her covered, but she gets her foot on the rope. Charlotte grabs Lily. Bliss wants it back. Charlotte throws it at her. Big boot throws her into the ring post. Next selection, 1, 2, 3. And the champ retains the title. After the match, she grabs the doll, kicks Alexa Bliss out of the ring, grabs the doll, and just rips it apart. Piece by piece. Takes an arm, throws it away. Takes another leg, throws it away. Rips her up. Stupid doll. Swings, kicks it away, jumps on it and down. She finally gets a hold of her and sends her over the... Bliss jumps onto her, starts beating the shit out of her. Unfortunately, Charlotte gets the upper hand, throws her over the announce table. Back at ringside, we see Bliss rise from the table and freaks out over Lily being destroyed. She gets in the ring. She sits with it as she tries to collect her thoughts. And we get a "Thank you, Lily" chant. Columbus, you disappoint me as an Ohioan myself. You kind of disappoint me with that one. Bliss screams, freaks out, looks for she's foaming at the mouth. Bliss goes on the stage, sits again, screaming. I think she is something. It looked like some kind of tablet was in her mouth. She makes her way to the back as her entire world has just become undone. While he was talking with someone on the phone about the upcoming draft in the store, Caleb Braxton is right nearby trying to listen in. Heyman says he'll call him back and mocks Braxton a bit. He says, "Do you think that it's Brock Lesnar?" And he says, "It may not be." The Usos are celebrating. Walk by. Says he has to go. Talk to you later. Yeah. So, what's gonna happen with Bliss and Lily? I really don't care. Maybe this will finally snap Bliss out of this dark, demented version of her. Then we can have a better back to the original Alexa Bliss. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. I gotta say, Damian Priest and Sheamus are really getting this triple threat thing down. Didn't these two go up against have a triple threat match with Drew McIntyre not too long ago? And that was a damn good match. Or was it Jeff Hardy? It was... Anyway, this was a hell of a match here. And this was another one of those. We actually got a callback, even though they didn't mention it, to when Jeff Hardy won the WWE Championship at the tail end of 2008. Yeah, I think it was the tail end of 2008 when he had that match with Edge and Triple H when he won the WWE Championship at, I believe, Armageddon that year, if it was still Armageddon. And Jeff Hardy hit the Swan, Triple H, I think it was Triple H hit a pedigree on Edge, had his arm draped over. Jeff Hardy was up on the top turnbuckle, did a swanton on the both of them, and got the pin in the win. So, that was a definite callback to that time. I wish somebody on commentary who was a historian or something would have said something about it, because it would have made more sense for them to say that, but no, they didn't, of course not. And it looked like it was going to pick him up to win, but because he's got, he's older, his back hurts and everything. Yeah. So, it was the tail end of 2008. That's what I thought. It was Armageddon 2008. But Sheamus tries to get the win by hitting a bro kick on Jeff Hardy. Couple steel pin stealing attempts from everybody. Sheamus hits the bro kick on Hardy, but Damian Priest pulls him in, rolls him up 1, 2, 3, and he picks up the win. Hell of a match here, and I'm disappointed in this match because this is Extreme Rules. Everything but the main event did not have an extreme stipulation, so they were all regular matches. But this is a triple threat match. You could have had something like chair shots or kendo sticks. The only thing that I can think why every other match was just a regular match was because they didn't want to outshine Roman Reigns, everything they were going to do there. That's the only thing I can think of. It's the only way that makes sense, in my opinion. Only way that makes sense. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair Smackdown Women's Championship match. This is the match we should have got at SummerSlam. But no, I forgot. We have to have time for Gable Steveson in the female wrestler. I can't remember her damn name. We had to have time for Xavier Woods and Miz and Morrison in the Dripstick 9000. But no. We had to give those time, but we couldn't give these two time, but more than 26 seconds. This was a damn good match. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. Becky tried so hard in this match to play a heel. She was even trying, you could hear her saying stuff that a heel would say. She's trying to be that heel, but the fans are chanting, "Let's go Becky, EST, let's go Becky, EST." Clearly, the 60-40 Becky, the EST chants were getting drowned out every fucking time. I don't know if that was WWE manipulating the sound so it made it sound like that. But from what I heard, Becky was more cheered than Bianca Belair. So, it's like the heel run is not working. Again, I'll say this again. I said it before, I'll say it again. Becky Lynch has the Undertaker 2002 to 2003 Big Evil. I think it was 2001 to 2002 or 2003, when he turned heel and made JR kiss Vince McMahon's ass up until he had that babyface, after he turned babyface towards the end, was when he started feuding with Vince McMahon in 2003. Yeah. I watched those shows. I watched all of those Smackdowns and Raws he were on. The dude came out to massive pops. And only when he would open his mouth and shit on the town or say something that the crowd didn't like would he get booed. Other than that, The Undertaker was over as fuck. That's what you're getting here. Becky will go out there, she'll have a damn good match like she did with Bianca Belair tonight, and the crowd will cheer her and cheer her. She could have some underhanded tactic, and they're going to cheer her. The only way she's getting booed right now is if she says something that the crowd doesn't like, somehow shits on the crowd, or tries to do the "you people" line because WWE can't figure out any other way of doing a heel promo. But that's the only things about Becky, is that she's not a fucking heel. She could be a tweener if you want to say that, but she's not a fucking full-fledged heel because the crowd is not going to accept her as a heel. Now, the match started off and both talents are trying to hit each other's finishers. Belair is trying to go for the KOD. Of course, Lynch is trying to go for the manhandle slam. Of course, there's no dice. There's not going to be a 26 or less seconds match like we had at SummerSlam. So these two went out there. They fucking killed it. I love this match except for the ending, which I'm fine with the ending because it makes sense. Belair out of the manhandle slam looks for a vertical suplex, but Lynch gets out of it and tries to disarm her. Belair rolls her up for a 2. They go right back to the same submission. Belair lifts and slams Lynch onto the mat, cover for a very close 2 count. Belair both throwing some haymakers in the middle of the ring. Belair with the roll up 2. Lynch tries as well for a 2. Belair with the roll up, but Lynch reverses her submission. Ends up just standing up and putting Becky into the KOD. She's getting ready to drop her for the KOD when out comes Sasha Banks. And is it just me or does Sasha Banks facially looks like different? I don't know if it was a makeup or something like, but she just looked like different. Like her face was smooth or like just formed different. I don't know, it just looked weird. But she beats the hell out of Bianca Belair, kicks her in the face. Becky looks at her with holding her title, gives her the weak thumbs up. But Sasha Banks is not here to help Becky Lynch. She goes right after her and starts beating her up, beating the fuck out of her. And I'm thinking to myself, this even right now shows why the fuck did you turn Becky Lynch heel, sort of? Why is she supposed to play heel when Sasha Banks is back? Sasha Banks is the quintessential heel on the Smackdown brand, unless they're moving her to Monday Night Raw, which would be a massive mistake because the heel quota is filled over there, and Sasha Banks is better as heel than a babyface. I don't care what anyone says. She is the quintessential badass best heel on the women's roster for any brand, because they've ruined so many other heels. Just saying. If all 3 women are still on SmackDown, which I don't think they're going to be, I think Bianca Belair is going to Raw. I think Montez Ford and Angela Dawkins are going to Raw. I'm going to have predictions on that this coming Thursday. I will have predictions going into who goes where and who stays put. But if they all 3 stay on SmackDown, it's going to make it very intriguing what's going to happen. And then we go to our main event, the Demon Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. This was a crazy match. Now, these two just... It's funny because the entire night, I don't know what the hell was up with Columbus, but this crowd was obsessed with tables. They were obsessed with fucking tables the entire night. So here we are with people chanting, "We want tables" the entire night. Roman Reigns wanted nothing to do with tables and he even said, I'll get the tables when I feel like getting the fucking tables. And of course, Balor eventually gets one out there, puts it in the ring, but they go fight out to the out in the crowd they get by the stairs by the kickoff set, and Balor ends up sending him through a table, so the crowd goes fucking wild. They go back to the ring. Balor sets up a table and immediately gets Uranagi through it. Holy shit, that looked like hell. That looked so fucking brutal. Of course, Montez Ford had to deal with that on Friday. So here, Balor is dealing with it on Sunday. Now, Balor looks like he's going to pick up the win. When the Usos show up, they beat him up. They're going to set up a table up to put him through. He fights out of it. Takes them both down, sends one of them through the announce table. Roman then spears him through the barricade, and then the shit we talked about at the beginning of the show all happened, and I don't want to go through it again because it makes me physically ill. So, and no sign of Brock Lesnar. No nothing. Extreme Rules ends with everybody scratching their head. What the fuck was that? It was okay show. We had the women's championship match. The women's championship match was SmackDown, and the SmackDown tag team titles match were the two best matches. Even though I know the SmackDown women's title did not have a conclusive finish, but it is what it is. But that is your Extreme Rules review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds of the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.